With
Starting up again.
unfazed.
Hello.
Rogue Trader continues. We are happily providing you background noise, character things, and sometimes random bullshit. Enjoy! I hope you're playing a game or probably not reading a book, because that'd be crazy and I'd be worried about you. But like, literally anything that doesn't require your eyes and hands to do, that we can just, be voices in the background to listen to. We're serving our purpose. I hope you enjoy. Now then, Lord Captain, we must continue going through the dialogue trees.
You're almost done. It's just Heinrich and just Jay.
Just the Inquisitor and the Pirate. I'm sure neither of those will have a bunch to talk about, ignoring how verbose Jay is.
I'm sure the Inquisitor won't try to kill me, right?
Why would he?
He's a Psyker as well. So him knowing that I'm a Psyker doesn't matter.
That's strangely racist of you, sir.
That's not racist.
Isn't it?
That's judging people based on their abilities.
Is it an ability if it's born into you?
Yes, because it's something that can be trained and harnessed.
It's a mutation.
It's still an ability.
But it's still a mutation. Like, people are racist with the X-Men. They're a race. It's a mutation.
But I have nothing against mutants.
And? Does that make them not a different thing? Listen, man, you're accrediting traits based upon the genetic makeup of somebody instead of any of their thoughts or actions. I feel that is inherently unfair.
Wait a second. What I was saying was I thought that Heinrich was going to send me away because he is an Inquisitor, not because he is a Psyker. I assumed because Psyker he would not.
No, you thought he'd give you a pass because you're both Psyker bros, right? Nah, that feels racist.
I thought it'd be weird for him to judge me for something that he also has going on with him.
Nah, I feel like it's less weird for him to judge you for it. Because he can call you on your shit.
Oh, right. Good. So, I know nothing about you, Heinrich. Tell me about yourself. And please, don't be like what I think you are.
I'm usually the one interested in the pasts of those around me, not the reverse. I come from a night world, Guizorn 3.
Guizorn.
I belong to a branch of one of the noble houses until my exceptional abilities were discovered.
Exceptional.
After that, I was sent on a black ship to Holy Terra, where I was trained, and I began my service for the glory of the Imperium.
People still visit Terra?
A lot of people live there, man.
I thought people didn't go back to Terra. Do you remember your home planet?
I do, but I have no ties to my homeworld now. None except my first name. I left Guizorn 3 when I was still a child. My family disowned me, stripping me of my family name. I was given a new one by those who trained me. Even for a noble, being branded a Psyker is a mark of eternal shame. I experienced that firsthand before I was put on the black ship.
Don't look at my smug face.
What do you mean your smug face? It sounds like you dealt with a lot of discrimination for being a Psyker already. It doesn't say he has any qualms about other Psykers.
It's a mark of eternal shame. Shame for all eternity.
Fair enough. How did you discover your ability? I'm sure you didn't just wake up and someday be able to control people's bodies from the inside out.
Like many Psykers unaware of their curse, I found out when a strong emotional reaction triggered an involuntary response. My great-aunt had a pet grink. One day, it bit me, and I boiled it from inside out. And when my great aunt slapped me for what I'd done, I boiled her too.
Sounds like she deserved it. I don't know. What I'm more surprised by, the absurdity of your story, or the fact that you're capable of such
You're calling his
a
story
show of
absurd?
emotion. No. I expected a more dramatic story.
He boiled someone to death?
If I were to summon a demon or rain down fire
Yeah,
on
he did.
everyone's heads,
How
who would
much
be
more
standing
drama
here
do you
talking
need?
right now?
I don't know.
I took the life
People
of a
come
family
to
member.
one after another.
In my opinion, that is more than enough drama.
He agrees with my statement.
Yeah. Tell me about the black ship.
Picture
Not a good place.
vast prison ship filled with frightened, angry psychers who can't control their abilities and who have just lost their homes and their families. Some of them were children and adolescents like I was. Some were monstrous creatures who no longer had the right to be called human, or psychopaths who reveled in their impure powers.
Oh.
I feel like you're not gonna get let off easy because you're psycho, bros.
Yeah. I've come to that conclusion. He might hate me more because I am a psyker.
Once, when one of the miscreants broke free, those in command simply depressurized the bay and got rid of the culprit, along with the prisoners and crew tainted by him. But even after that, I heard the echo of inhuman suffering and terror that filled that part of the ship. It grieves me to recall that episode to this day.
Heinrich is a deeper character than I thought he was.
What'd you think he was?
I don't know, I just thought Inquisitor is Inquisitor. And boiled him down to that. You were sent to the Inquisition straight after training?
No. First, I was accorded the status of a psyker fit for service in the Imperial Guard, where I then spent several years. It was only afterward that I became an agent of the Golden Throne.
Okay. That's information enough. Let's talk about something else if you don't want to say anything more. How long have you served the Inquisition?
Since the day of my initiation as an acolyte. So, decades. How many real years it's been, it's hard to say. When I return from a journey through the warp, I often discover that much more or much less time has passed in real space.
The warp's time. So it's like the Sea of Stars.
They just kind of come out whenever they get to come out.
I see, that's how it is. Makes me wonder how orc boys train.
They just go. And they think they'll be fine.
So they are fine.
Sometimes they crack a window. Gotta get that breeze in.
But yeah, space shuttle can be sitting for so long in a spaceship can be real stuffy. You visited many. Those weren't words. You have visited many worlds during your service. I'll wager.
Indeed. I have visited many of the places brought to the Emperor's light, and those sullied by the filth of the arch-enemy. In truth, even after all these years spent visiting the various corners of the Imperium and looking beyond its borders, I still consider the Segmentum Solar to be the greatest of all humanity's bastions. Nothing compares to the majesty of holy terror, the might of Mars, the grandeur of the segment's other worlds.
What duties have you been carrying out for the Inquisitor? I saw you torture a dude to death.
You can't really be expecting me to answer that question, can you?
The interrogator returns your look and smiles. Yeah, that answers the question right there. For someone who's been in the service for decades, you certainly look young.
The first step for biomancers such as myself is to take control of the processes of their own body, including aging. I've endured innumerable hazards in my work. If I allowed every trace of them to remain, I would look completely different today.
You've been leveling him up. Is he the healer now?
I have not been leveling him up.
Huh? And
I
who
have not been
has?
leveling him up. James has.
Oh,
I did the last level up. But just the last level up.
then I go to Kieva Gamma with low expectations.
Let's change the subject.
Gladly.
I must take my leave.
But there's so many other things.
There are.
You're looking at his levels.
I'm looking at his levels and
Oh.
see that he's leveled up.
There's so many levels to do.
Everybody needs to level up. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, wait, no, I have been leveling him up. He does indeed have Invigorate. So he can heal people.
Hooray. Not dying is good.
I also made him an arch-militant, but he doesn't really have a gun to use.
Meh.
Nor do I know how to use an arch-militant yet, so I'll go play with that later. I go figure it out.
That's what I was gonna do with Argenta that I forgot about.
To what do
Wow.
I owe this visit?
Do you need time to go do something
Nah,
before?
I was just gonna toss something at her, but it's fine. I can do it later.
Go right ahead.
God damn it.
Okay.
To what do I owe this visit?
Go right ahead. I'll just sit here.
Cautiously touch his mouse.
I'm going to spend some time leveling up the
I'm done.
characters that need leveling up. Okay, I won't spend time.
Like I told you, it was quick. Ah, the warp ice. Get the flamers.
It comes in every time I leave. The level up screen. Yeah. Every time I leave the level up screen comes in.
To what do I owe this visit?
I mean, I guess just living with ghostly whales and warp ice does make it more difficult for demons to be any effective creepy when that's just fucking every day.
Yeah. I still have not seen anybody turn into a demon in this playthrough.
So I take it you managed it on a different playthrough?
I forced it in a different playthrough.
Fair enough. What'd you get?
I actively was using Idira, who's an unsanctioned psyker,
But what did you
to
get?
use all of her psyker powers every time. I got a blue horn.
Ah, you got a boring. We got a really boring one.
Yeah.
Not even a
Yeah,
pink,
really.
a blue one?
Yeah, blue.
Gross.
It wasn't anything, but it was something.
It's really bad whenever a plague bearer spawns in your back lines.
Mhm.
Because then that's a tank where it shouldn't be.
I actively raised my veil degradation to as high as possible, and then used every single one of her psyker powers.
Also, be careful
kind of
about what you
force.
pick.
Here?
Yeah, I was reading. Because you have your take them away options.
Yeah, so I'm bored of Irlet and I'm bored of Adira, which are 7 and 8, or 6 and 7. So I was watching those. You're not the Inquisitor's only acolyte, correct?
Of course not. The Lord Inquisitor's entourage comprises dozens of people. The best of the best. Experts in various fields and disciplines. Some of them I know personally. Others I've never met. To be honest, I'm not even certain that the people I know are still alive. I used to work with other acolytes of the Lord Inquisitor, but in the Coronis Expanse, I've been working alone.
Ron, words are words. I need the word better. Wandering among the stars without family or friends. Don't you get lonely?
I rarely have the time or the opportunity to think about it.
If you're an interrogator, does that mean that you hold a special position in the retinue?
We are not a retinue. We are acolytes. As for your question, I am closer than anyone else to the one I call my personal teacher. The Lord Inquisitor deemed me worthy of undertaking the most important and sensitive tasks requiring the attention of agents of the Golden Throne.
Are there any other acolytes in the Coronis Expanse? Right, you can't tell me that, because secret. Let's talk about something else.
Such as?
How about the Cult of the Final Dawn? What can you tell me about it?
The cult's ordinary members are humans who have been corrupted by the archenemy, traitors to the Imperium, and accomplices of chaos. Participation in the cult's rituals always entails brainwashing, literally and figuratively. The longer cult members spend among other cultists, the less critically they think, and the more closely they resemble obedient livestock, stripped of their fear and instinct for self-preservation. The worst of them go to their deaths without an inkling of doubt, ready to take hundreds and thousands of souls with them.
Now that's the type of cult that I don't... That is not the Botsford Web.
As for those at the top of
Well,
the
similar.
cult's hierarchy, we have not yet managed to get a lead on all of the cult's leaders. I imagine that some of them are hiding in the depths of the Coronis Expanse. But those who are orchestrating the fanatics on nearby worlds are hiding very well indeed. Or receiving protection from above.
What do you mean, protection from above?
Governors, commanders, rogue traders. History is full of those who neglect their duty to the Golden Throne and seek allies in the wrong places.
Remind me, what is your mission regarding the cult? If I ask too many digging questions, will he just attack me?
No.
Leave?
He knows when not to talk. You'll be fine.
Remind me, what's your mission regarding the cult?
I need to confirm the reports from my agents. According to them, one of the cult's leaders is in the Kiava Gamma segment, an industrial world within the dominion of the Von Valancius dynasty. I hope you won't impede my investigation.
Well, I have no intention of doing so. But you seem to have been investigating this cult for some time.
We discovered the first traces of it as soon as we arrived in the Coronis Expanse. Since then, the more we learn, the better we see just how far the roots of this blight extend. Destroying individual cells is pointless. We must cut this beast off at its head.
Let's talk about something else. I heard that you're a psyker. What can you do?
The Lord Inquisitor was most insistent that I master the discipline of Santic Demonology. I use my faith and my power to crush the enemies of the Imperium. Servants of Chaos tremble at the sound of the Emperor's name, uttered by my lips. I am also a skilled biomancer. I can manipulate bodily processes. Sometimes I resort to those skills in the course of my work, when it is necessary to make the subject of an interrogation more cooperative.
Does he really hate his psychic powers that I almost had to leave my retinue.
Get
I'm actually
off
gonna
my
leave.
ship and take the Xenos with you. Pwah.
Nice talking to you, but I'm gonna go now, okay? Bye, Heinrich.
See, 20 minutes. He was very curt with his responses.
But Jay's not going to,
You are correct.
which is why I'm making a save now.
Just in case.
Just in case I get tired of it, start falling asleep, and press the wrong button. Where are you, Jay? Here somewhere. That's you? That's
May the Exalted One protect you. Have you grown bored without our little talk, Shireen?
you. Don't look like the atypical smuggler.
No truer words have ever been said. I'm far more exciting than some small-time peddlers from Footfall. Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Jai Amira Fatqin Tamiri Ash Ifrit,
Fatqin.
daughter of the Lord of Ifrit, a distant world at the fringes of the Imperium.
Where'd that K come from?
The K in what? Was it
Fakreen. That's how she pronounced it. It looks like Fafreen, but it's Fakreen. I wouldn't have got that one.
No. I got Ifrit and Jay.
Well, technically it's Jai. But Jay sounds better.
It's Jay.
The youngest child is destined to become a bargaining chip in the family's political games. But I was unwilling to accept such a fate, and wanted to choose what to become and which path to follow. When I learned the Exalted One watches over hundreds of other worlds amidst distant stars, I understood there was an entire world of opportunities beyond Ifrit. All I had to do was break the familial bonds tying me down and escape the planet. Which I did a long time ago.
Ifrit is the name of the planet. And I can't help but think about what their voice actors are doing now. Thank you for putting that thought in my head.
It gives more character.
It does. Why did you choose to come to the Garage experience?
The
That's a
Carolis
long-
Expanse. A gorgeous name, isn't it?
Hmm?
But this backwater
So that's a
wasn't
long
my
text
original
box.
destination when I
It
saved
is.
Shireen. Oh no, it was the rumors of incredible freedom that brought me to the Carolis Expanse.
Without
Freedom
a
that is generously bestowed
specific
upon everyone
answer.
who can survive in these parts. All doors are open here. You can become a saint, a mogul, a kingmaker, or anyone you like, really. Here, hard work pays off, unless you're used to lying by the roadside and complaining instead of toiling for the good of your soul, glory, wallet, or whatever floats your boat. I'm used to working hard, and so I found my blessing.
What is that accent?
Both clipped and V instead of what.
Yeah, that's what I caught up onto just now. But it doesn't sound like anything else German. How did you escape from Ifrit?
I convinced my father I
Father.
personally wished to oversee the
Father.
inspection of imported goods. I had to get experience so I wouldn't bring shame on our family, didn't I? I made friends with traders, missionaries, and
Dares.
soldiers at the port. I listened to their stories, studied the charts, learned what documents I had to forge to escape the planet. A kind word here, a shiny coin there. And here I am, in the iron belly of a ship, braving the void in search of a new life.
Is it the Irish accent?
Man, it's a something that be.
Judging by your implants, you've had quite a few close shaves over the years. I also got scars on your eyebrow. You're also missing an
Consider it
arm.
a mark of my trade. This year, Xenos. Dumb-headed orcs. Who knew that we weren't the only ones to get tempted by the wreck of that raider? As for this treasure, I received it as a reward for a life that had been just a little too good. I was in a hurry to get to the Adeptus Amacacus after the Exalted One blessed me with immense wealth. I was 2 backstreets away from the den when a pathetic ashmag attacked me, envious of somebody else's fortune.
Oh, it's an implant.
Because she got her throat cut.
I thought that was just part of her clothes.
Then she's
But now that I look at it,
appropriately dressed.
her neck is just a bit too long to seem entirely natural. And I didn't see it before now, as I'm staring at it.
Then she is dressed appropriately. Because if you can camouflage your neck being
But you
made
got a
of
good
steel,
job.
then you're doing pretty well.
I noticed the arm. The arm was not hard to miss, but the neck, which is in her main profile picture, just eluded me. Oh,
You are familiar with implants like the one that has replaced her neck. It is merely one part of a massive augmentation for replacing the internal organs. A slit throat could not have been the cause for installing such a sophisticated device. She's lying to you, sir.
I had 50% chance of doing that, getting that. And I did it.
Well, you only needed to get to 20. And that's not the worst.
What do you mean I only needed to get to 20? I got a 20% boost. A 20 boost.
Yeah. But like the thing wasn't all that. Listen, these things are determined weirdly.
Oh, my skill value is 30. I got a modifier bonus of 20 for 50% chance total of 100. That's why your skill bonus being 100 means you always succeed, unless you have a negative something. Right? At least that's how I understand
They
it.
have secret roles, okay?
Yep. So thank you for sharing this. I know you're lying to me, but
All relationships are based
Fine.
on mutual trust.
Oh,
That goes for business
oh,
too.
all relationships are based on mutual trust.
yeah, okay. Okay. Tell me about your background again.
The youngest child is destined to become a bargaining chip in
Oh,
the
I don't
family's
need
political
this.
games. But I was unwilling to accept such a fate, and wanted to choose what to become.
Thank you for sharing this.
All relationships are based on mutual trust. That goes for business too.
I have seen enough of the shiny wrappings of the Corona Expanse. Tell me about its dark side.
The dark side is the real Coronis Expanse, if you ask me. But what do you want to know about it, Shireen?
How do they do things on footfall?
Dynasties drink with criminals. Rogue
Dynasties?
traders strike deals with the Casbalica. And dozens of ships stop off for a welcome break from a long voyage. Is there a more beautiful place in the entire Imperium? The Emperor is merciful to the meek and the powerful alike. There's a job for everyone as long as they have a head on their shoulders. And if you feel like talking to him in person, the statue of the Exalted One can be seen from any asteroid. You can pray to your heart's content.
She also has this thing where she replaces the TH and like the there with the D.
Uh-huh.
I don't think that both that and the W to V relates to the same accent anywhere.
I do not remember if I was getting all these nuances to her voice whenever I was reading it out loud.
I You weren't reading it, I was.
No, then I took it over.
Then you took it over at one point because he uses a lot of words.
It got to
all
where
look
it's like
so-
we need to make faster.
Yeah. Tell me
It's
about
nothing
the-
personal. It's just I'm faster.
I struggled on words and book stuff. Tell me about this mission, please.
The Kaspalika.
That's Falco mission.
An ancient crime cartel that originated with the first settlers of the Calixis sector. It is run by
Settlers.
shadowy clans with robber barons at the helm. Cross their path, and you risk making enemies all over the Coronis Expanse, or even the entire Imperium. As for the agents, they are just shameless, greedy scum. Every third person on Footfall is a
Third.
Kaspalican. But that doesn't mean all that rotten filth is acting together. I've been set up more than once just so some Kaspalican can get one over on his rivals. And yet, the Kaspalica is generous to its customers, if you can afford it. Anything can be obtained, organized, and transported for the right price. The customer is always right, unless they happen to be a rat. In which case,
Oh, sound effect too. That little subtext. That's unique.
Happens every now and then.
forgive me, Shireen. I'm
Not
not too fond
too
of the
often.
ones I am forced to share the market with. Especially since they are nowhere near as good as me.
Oh, it's happening twice. Back to back. Or you want to cast Bellica's robber barons? Whatever that means.
What gave you such an outrageous idea? Was it my immaculate garment? My gorgeous jewelry? Do not worry, Shireen. I will let you know once I become a baroness, should the Exalted One will it. Just imagine the strong and fruitful alliance that could be forged between a rogue trader and the mastermind of the Kasbalika.
How did you become a Bellica agent?
It's not hard to do on Footfall. I spent a year working for good old Christo. He was a brave soldier who gave up the ghost in a scuffle with orcs, and then took over his business. Having a good head on your shoulders and keeping the Exalted One in your heart helps to establish new contacts quickly. Eventually, I gathered together a group of honest and loyal people, and it only took a few successful contracts for the Kasbalika to take notice. I quickly settled on Footfall and started dispensing my wisdom to my protégés and subordinates. I lost the taste for getting my hands dirty.
Tell me about the cold trade.
It really is simple, Shireen. The Kasbalika runs the Imperium's black market, offering special goods to those who can afford their services. Yes, I am talking about Xeno artifacts too. Alien weapons, technology, sometimes even certain kinds of living creatures.
Speaking of this, I noticed that not noticed. I went back recently to Footfall and saw how the road trade, the Xenos that were on display were just put back up on display after we left and went back to the area.
They found more.
They found more.
Sometimes you just
So-
gotta execute the theater barker.
At
circus
some
barker.
point, I'm going to go back so I can go execute the circus guy.
You can do that whenever you want.
Yep, I will do that at some point.
Unlike the
I
rogue
do not know
traders
when.
whose sacred warrants make them immune
Do
even
right
from
now.
the laws of the Exalted One, Kasbalican agents are used to hiding and covering their tracks. Nobody wants
No, I
to draw
can't.
unwanted attention, no matter who might take an interest. Especially now that the Coronis Expanse has a warrior of the Golden Throne as its watchman.
Because I got the whole Earlet scene that's going to happen next time I try to work.
It's probably not very long.
Change the subject.
Why not? The decision
Probably
is
isn't
yours,
long.
Sheri.
I just didn't know if it would go into like combat.
I don't think
Or not.
so. And even if it does,
Probably deal.
yeah.
Tell me about your business in the Coronis Coronis expand?
My trade means knowing the right people and non-people. Having the right connections and making sure the precious goods find their way into the hands of my no less precious customers. My wisdom includes the knowledge of the enemies of humankind, be they Xenos or the lowest scum in the Imperium, as well as the latest knowledge about how much they charge for any particular curio at the footfall market. Not even the most cunning Aji will deceive you as long as I am with you, Shireen. I promise you that. Whatever I have can be yours too, if your unfathomable wealth isn't enough for you already, I mean.
Do you do business with the enemies of humanity?
It has been known to happen. After years of dealing with Xenos, I've learned their customs, and even got a grasp of their language. Except they cringe whenever I start speaking. Arrogant sods. They dislike even our voices, but they never turn away our valuables. Then again, I'm used to seeing sour faces. In this trade, the easily offended go out of business.
Then perhaps your knowledge will serve the Von Valencia's protectorate?
Protectorate.
Yes, that. Protectorate.
I have no doubt you will have to deal with Xenos sooner or later. When that time comes, Shireen, you will thank the Exalted One for sending me to stand at your side.
You seem to have many talents.
Thank you, Shireen. Being able to read and write is chief among them. You may not be aware, but this science is beyond the abilities of billions of the Imperium subjects. And yet they happily keep drudging along in their factories, fundy, and assembly lines. Me? I didn't escape Ifrit to consign myself to such misery. It was literacy that paved my path to copied orders, forged signatures, counterfeited papers. The wonderful things that make the wheels of bureaucracy turn in the right direction.
Are you really that rich?
What's your
Which
profit
sounds like
factor?
a horrible thing to ask a merchant like this.
What's your profit factor?
Compared to the rabble on footfall, perhaps. Compared to you. Be it power or money, I still have a long way to go. I could purchase one of Footfall's asteroids, but not a planet. I could subjugate a few gangs from the shady districts, but not Vladium. And so the answer to your question is no. I do not consider myself rich. I am not rich enough.
You could be sitting back reaping the fruits of your own work. So why have you chosen to embrace the vicissitudes of life aboard a void ship?
You're fun to talk. I grew tired of scribing endless contracts and agreements neatly tucked away on Footfall. Well, I did that for how many years? But here, among the stars, you are always balanced on a knife edge. Nothing thrills me more than the tension of a warp jump, or the danger that lurks around every corner on a planet. Footfall was beginning to make me fat and stupid, Shireen. I do not want that.
She speaks measuredly, with just the right amount of laziness in her voice, but her performance cannot conceal the slight tremble in her voice. Whatever she's afraid of, that is what drove her off of Footfall.
What about your gang that stayed back at Footfall?
What was left of it.
Do you trust them?
Do I trust the Trickster twins? By the Exalted One, no. The underhanded rogues of Footfall came up with that name for a reason. The tricks of those frenzied ashmags are all about things far more intriguing than the honest and law-abiding subjects of the Imperium can imagine.
I've given up on trying to place this accent. It will bother me every time she says anything, but I've given up on trying to place it.
On the other hand, this is why I am keeping them close. Kor and Tora know who lifted them out of the cesspit proudly called the Shadow Quarters, and who has been feeding that ravenous beast their insatiable lust for lucre. No, they are not going to betray me if only because they know I am now a part of your entourage, Shireen. They're not going to let the biggest pie in the Imperium pass them by without trying to get a slice for themselves.
Okay. Tell me about the Xenos and of the Coronis Expanse.
Vicious, cruel, dangerous beasts. Humans hold little interest for Xenos. We are entertainment for them,
Xenos.
a means to keep boredom at bay. A commodity. But some of them contact us once in a while using their own people. Do not deceive yourself by thinking you are safe because there are no Xenos inside. Those Agi are as cunning as they are ruthless. They cleverly pull at the strings of spies and traitors, subjugate those who do not fall for the promised reward, transform the ones who resist their promises into soulless puppets. The Emperor watches over me, and that is why I still haven't succumbed to the fate of many of my associates who have lost their lives to the stringy scoundrels.
I can't disagree.
Is what she was saying.
Uh-huh.
Can't say I do either. Let's talk about something else, so we can
I
get
think
your
we've said
dialogue
all
done
there is
with.
to say on this topic.
New thing at the top, but let's keep going.
Let's see how many more lies you will tell me.
And
Did
will you pick up
know-
a third relationship?
There's only like so many of them. I can pick up all of them, get them started, and then
Yeah.
decide when we get to chapter 3.
You can do whatever you want.
Did you know Theodora von Felicius, my predecessor?
It is difficult not to be aware of the powers that be, especially ones like Lord Captain Theodora. But we never met personally, as the difference between
Oh,
our positions was
I can
far
pick
too
up a
great.
third relationship.
Theodora was a
Does that
mighty
line?
ruler,
Yeah,
sent
that's
her
what I
her own
said.
universe, and I, a pathetic speck, was
I thought you
nothing
meant in
against her.
eventuality.
But
Eventually.
you were kind
No, it's
to
right
me,
there.
Sherry, and in my eyes, that puts you above your esteemed aunt, or whoever she was to you.
And I've completely messed it up with Jocasta.
Well, that's
Because I
just
refuse to just...
because you're not a fucking dickwad all the time. She likes to see you hurt people, sir.
Even if those people are herself.
Uh-huh.
And that's just... No. No. Argenta seems to have gotten under your skin, am I right?
Not her fault, she's better.
Argenta? What could be more beautiful than the sight of a sister of battle, whose mere presence casts light in the dark corners of lost souls such as mine? But alas, what remains of my sanity is telling me that poor Jai can only admire the radiance of this angel, forsaking any hope of ever touching her wings.
Sometimes she says something. I think, oh, she's from the Middle East. Like France. And she says something else, like she's from Germany. Then
Did
something
you just
else.
say the Middle East and then say like France?
No, I said Middle East. Or like France.
Okay. Because that's now where France is.
No, it's not. I was making two comparisons in one statement.
Continue.
And then she says something that makes her sound like she's from Louisiana, using a fake version of... Never mind, I'm not going to
Well,
comment
that's
on
Creole. Like,
that.
that's French basis, but
It is
not gonna
French basis.
comment on what.
Mhm.
You don't want to call out the Cajuns, they're gonna come for you.
I live too close. I do not want to risk that.
Yeah, you're in, like, North Carolina.
That is too close for comfort.
And the entire country's too close to the Cajuns.
Louisiana and Florida are like a 4-hour drive at Shorty's.
I mean, I guess there is an ocean. They could come for you in their fan boats.
You know how intimidating that would be? Just an army of fan boats,
Just weep.
a flag bearing your image. No. You keep using words I don't understand, like calling me Shireen. What is your accent from?
The language on Ifrit, my home world, is quite different from the one spoken in the Keronis Expanse. We bestow more than one meaning upon each word, allowing our wise men to fully express their
Wise.
sagacious thoughts, and us lowly dabblers, our base passions and desires.
Okay.
Take Aji, for example. That is what I call every piece of scum and villain, because Aji means evil and foe and pathetic worm unworthy of consideration. Or take
Okay.
Ashmak. It means fool and little brother and blind man who stumbled and would fall into a pit without guidance. Shireen means friend and comrade and roommate in a battle formation, like we are.
You ever see What We Do in the Shadows? Like the series?
No.
You should. It's comical.
I feel like I might have heard of it before.
But just because they're the point of common knowledge, because I forced everybody to watch Garth Marenghi, Matt Berry is in that, and he was in Garth Marenghi as well, as like the Doctor Man. But his wife in that show, her accent and this accent, they're neighbors.
Only the same. Okay.
They're not the same, but I can
close
see
enough.
it. You got a couple options here.
I can just say, hey, I'm not doing the romance option.
But you
Ignore
could.
that.
It's right there.
Oh.
She's ready.
Nah. I'll just ignore it.
She has not won your heart, Sherry. A shame.
Currently, I'm of the opinion that 90% of what she said has just been untruthful. Also, that Azhi, A-Z-H-I, seems similar to, Cabela's word for something. That meant actually basically the same thing. Evil and foe, and they need to kill them. Because that's their victims. Just making a comment. I need to go back in the video to go see what her actual word was, but
It would be the previous video.
Are you sure it wouldn't be 2 videos ago?
Yes, it'd be the previous video, because the previous video was Cabela.
So you're telling me all these tales about your colorful past, Jay. But I feel not all these stories are true. That is more than a slit throat worth of metal.
Shireen, the giver of happiness and the dearest of my friends. I am who I am. A cold trader, a Kasbalican agent, and your partner. We each have a past, and that past is sealed. I'm not prying into your soul, am I? Well, have pity on mine. It has already been gnawed at by the Aji. And if you don't like the sound of that, we'll just go our separate ways. Deal?
Ah,
Offensive.
I see. That was unexpected.
You're not supposed to call me out for my stuff.
Okay.
All relationships are based on mutual trust. That goes for business too.
I feel like this is your 4th time saying that same line, and you don't trust me at all. But I expect me to trust you. So I'll see you later.
Oh, I have no doubt you will.
So that's Jay, Pascal, Cabela, Idira, I believe.
Here, Argenta.
Everyone, you did it. Now you mentioned there being a chance to get a gun in this place where we currently are. What the fuck you talking about?
Oh yes, a chance to get the gun that he wanted. That's in this place. It's on the jungle world. But because it's a jungle world, that's a everybody get together type thing.
Huh? No. Not right
No?
now.
It looks like the thing is not currently on this jungle world.
Not even there.
It might be a different jungle world.
Nah, there's a few of those.
Oh, wait. I've already opened the smuggler's cache. That's where it was supposed to be.
Just wasn't there.
It just wasn't there.
Alright, let's do this now.
Go get that last, cutscene.
Go to Janice. You got colony shit to do. And that's just as annoying.
Where's Janice?
Or Foulstone, sorry. Also, figure out which of the next projects you want to start.
Right, I do need to go to Foulstone for that. Foulstone is here in the Furabundus system.
It looks
Right.
like you can do both of Foulstone's things just off whatever, and whenever we end up traveling, you'll be able to do more stuff.
Sure, if you got cutscene.
I would... Okay. It forces report your pet Eldari is in a foul mood. It is moving toward the captain's bridge. We didn't stop her, and I expect that you want to have a conversation.
Yeah. I knew this cutscene was coming, so...
I saw orange and I went, "Hurrah!"
We took a red path to get to where we were.
That doesn't mean that I'm not going to look at things and react accordingly.
I knew it would be fine. And it was fine. Just gotta deal with this conversation.
Medina's not still in the
And
game,
then-
is he?
Hmm?
The Medina's not still in the game, is he?
I don't think so.
Like, just in case it does come to combat.
Please
I can't
spare me
check.
a brief moment of your time, Elantak.
I'm going to assume no.
Okay, what do you want?
Azurion knows that I do not care about the curious glances of Monkey. I grew inured to them back in the blossoming gardens of the Lilithon. They curse me from afar.
Felt like a
They
curse.
follow my every move. They ward themselves against me. Let them. After all, what can be done with such weak-minded, primitive creatures?
It was an insult.
And still, one monkey stunt has caused the cup of my patience to spill over. She dared to approach me, to speak to me, and touching my hand, she suggested that we withdraw somewhere private. She wanted Morag. The mere memory of it stirs up a tempest in my soul.
Oh, so this is how you start or don't start a relationship with Yorla.
Hers is honestly weird, and I'm curious if you'll end up in it by happenstance.
Is
Or
that
not.
a possibility?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh.
You can accidentally yourself into it.
Well, we will see then, I suppose.
Yeah.
Were you truly so offended by it?
Try to imagine, Elantak, being lusted after by a wild beast. It is foul, disgusting, so vile that it makes your very soul shudder.
So she didn't like it. She didn't like it, oh.
So many
So
options.
toss him out the airlock.
I can say so. I don't have the chance either.
Say
That's
a lot.
flirting that I'd hate. Fraternizing with Xenos? Nope, don't care. My people have behaved contemptibly, and I apologize for it. See, I'm repelled by the Eldari, which is no. I understand the incident was unpleasant for you, but it does not mean that all humans are animals. You're an exotic animal to my people. Get used to For you, I'm unwilling to become a wild animal or a docile.
Hey.
If you dislike how my people behave, try to spend your time somewhere more out the way, or I shall speak with my subjects, so you will not be bothered again.
A couple of them are straightforward.
A couple of them are. I mean, 7 is straightforward. 1 is straightforward. Those are neither of the choices I would choose.
I more meant like 9 and 3.
Or 5.
That too. But that one's also like, but humans.
Mm-hmm.
And she really
Those were
doesn't want to play with humans.
Those were the 3 that I was considering. Because I feel the need
Apologize for
to,
her.
I will apologize.
Say it won't happen again. But this one only appeared after the other one was done,
Yeah.
which interests me.
It is interesting. But also, it feels like she's will be isolating herself, which is not something I want for her to do.
Her thing is meditation, man.
More than likely, I will get the chance to choose that option after I apologize. Because that seems to be the way it will appear.
Say what?
So I'm going to choose option 3 to apologize first.
Unknown. We shall see.
Shall see. My people have behaved contemptibly, and I apologize for it.
I accept your words, Elentok. And still,
Does not care for humans.
Wild animal
So-
or docile. Ugh.
Some people would go for that, though.
Some people are real into that angle. I do not understand them.
Now between 4 and 8. I shall speak with my subjects. You will not be bothered again. I'm assuming that's not what you chose.
I have a big pro-human bent to me, though.
That opens up the way for conversation.
This is more like, man, I get that it wasn't nice for you, but like, stop blaming all the humans. And the other one's just simply, you won't be bothered again, I'll take care of it.
You've done a fantastic job of convincing me to choose an option. Congrats.
So it's this one, right? The one you're hovering over?
Absolutely, yeah. No, I shall speak to my subjects. You
Fucking
will not
yip
be
yip, bro.
your words warm my soul. Very well. I will leave now. Do not forget your promise.
Feels too short.
Contact the Voxmaster? Nothing. Rumors? Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. That felt too short of an option to have chosen.
That's all
the
it
right one.
was. It was quick.
Quick and simple. And all that's left is to go to Janice.
Foulstone.
Foulstone.
And also Janice has also completed its thing. So like, that's a
Is it?
thing. Yeah.
I'll quickly just choose something.
There's shit happening on Janice. Bunch of mutations is bad.
Let's see. That's not good.
The biologists you tasked with healing Janus have found it to be missing from the catalog and recommend studying it and eradicating it afterward.
Okay.
The Janus nobility humbly await your decision. When this is an option, it's almost always best to take it.
What do my advisors have to say?
Generator, shall I just fucking go?
I saw your agent's pic recording. The signs these monkeys leave behind, they're idols. And I cannot deny a connection, though pathetic and extremely abstract, to the symbols of my people. Their guttural prayers echo the sounds of the children of Assyrian speech. The probability of them having come into such close contact with our civilization is non-existent. Yet, they are still somehow connected. Protect these people, resettle them to distant abodes, where they will not be harmed for their peculiarities, and keep watch. Someday, the truth may be revealed.
The blessed sanction of the Imperium does not grace these mutants, but nor does it declare their existence anathema. Should we sentence them without further study? There are mutants whose existence is fully sanctioned, such as ogrins, ratlings, pariahs, pelagars, felinids, or troughs. Our library had many treatises on the janitor's craft, and I could impart some of that knowledge to your servants. Purely theoretical, of course. The mutation has not been properly studied and is missing from the catalog. I am not registering a basis for delaying the commencement of immediate genetic purification. I recommend launching a thorough investigation into the genetic makeup of this forbidden strain.
Oh. Well, that's nice.
It changes it, and then you get shit.
It changed it. Before it was minus complacency for the third option.
And it's normally better. These two will both grant you secrets of the mutated flesh, which will give you 10 Medicae. And then the other one gives you a...
I'm afraid to right-click on these, so I don't want to choose anything. But that Heart of the Nameless looks interesting.
Read it.
Oh!
Ooh.
Oh. Wait a second.
Yeah.
So I have a choice. I've already decided what
That's
I'm
an
choose.
ooh.
But that's unexpected. What do we know about these wretches?
Their mutations cause the loss of skin pigment and the shedding of hair. Some have started developing a translucent third eyelid similar to that of reptiles. Others have succumbed to progressive atrophy of the larynx, causing the loss of human speech. At the same time, their tendons become denser and more elastic, providing increased endurance and load resistance.
Oh.
The wretches are commonly ostracized due to their grotesque appearance. Haven't been too many cases of mob justice yet, but they'll become commonplace after the mutation's deformities become more obvious. The wretches tend to form groups of similarly afflicted people. Their average level of intellect is low, and they all belong to the labor caste and communicate amongst themselves using a primitive vernacular of their own invention.
Sound like Nick and Mo, except not.
Bark, bark.
Moles or rats.
Bark, bark, bark. As for their barbaric religion, they are deifying both the soil and Janus itself. To them, working in agri-complexes is a form of worship, which has had a positive impact on productivity.
What do you say the secret's mutated flesh was?
You get plus 10 Medicae. But if you get this, you get plus 10 everything.
Everything. We just want to take that. Hey, resettle the wretches into separate agricultural complexes where the crowds will not take. We will. I feel these monkey have been touched by something wonderful.
As long as you have adherent iconoclast. I can only have follower, so I can't profit from that.
But I think I have adherent.
Maybe? The mutants got resettled. After put under surveillance, one of the watchmen spotted a mysterious relic in the hands of a group of wretches that turned out to be an item of Xeno origin. It's unlikely the mutants understood the nature of the object they worshipped.
Ooh. Got a thing that increases strength, toughness, and agility. Increasing intelligence, perception, and willpower.
Huh?
The Apex, the stimulant. You gotta
Oh,
continue.
okay. You got some drugs. The only problem with the gem that you just got is that it would replace your fireball thing.
I don't use the fireball thing.
Do you know?
Not really.
Where'd it go?
It's entirely dependent on. I have it on right now.
No, I know where
just don't
that
use
is. I don't know where the new thing went. There it is. Oh, it replaces a ring slot. Shit.
Oh, that's even better.
It's a necklace design, but it doesn't go on the necklace slot.
I'm not going to use this needle ring, so I'll. just
Look at
place
that.
it there. Yeah,
I mean,
it's all the better.
you're good at awareness. You can't really fight me, but I am the skill monkey. It is all I do. It is all I am good at.
I'm at least good at awareness.
You're
as
not
compared
bad.
to you, right?
Uh.
Yeah, you're only at 70. I have 95.
Yeah.
But I can't fight you on anything else. Unless I take this other plus 10 to all build.
But that one's mine.
So,
I will bite.
I'm not gonna take it from you. Probably.
Probably toss one of the other things at Janus, since now you can actually execute it.
Yep, that's what I was looking at. I don't have the requirements for. I don't have the requirement for these?
Press Y.
The only one I can do is the Secret of the Winter for it bring.
Yeah, you'll get the other things eventually.
I can just say start on this one.
Yeah, and this will actually give you access to chemicals, which is very useful and basically the only place you get chemicals from.
I have one chemical from somewhere. From Janus.
So it's already trying to start. It just doesn't
no.
lock off anything else yet, so you're good.
Keep this. Go look at Foulstone. I need to
Figure out which one you want to do, but we also have to physically travel there. That's the most annoying part. But we're also there, so.
We were close enough that it didn't. Foulstone, hi. What's going on over here?
Death Cult.
Another death cult?
Death Cult. Death Cult. It's event, Death Cult. Red letters, Death Cult. Just so you know what it is. It's a Death Cult.
So hey, I want to deal with this death cult.
Death cults flourish in the colony, driving its members and others to the brink of religious frenzy through bloody sacrifices and self-flagellation. News of their bloody deeds brings uncertainty and fear. We don't have weapons yet because we don't have Kiava Gamma. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I can't choose to do anything else. I have to let the cult go. I don't want to do that.
Where's our autosave? Nowhere near. Frack.
Well, all we did was go through dialogue. I can just speed run through dialogue.
That is. It's a lot of dialogue.
Yeah, it was. But, I can do that on my own time later. Just speed run through dialogue, and then.
Remember not to
it.
touch the death cult.
Don't touch the death cult. But I can go get that necklace. But I need to go get that necklace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for now, permit the cult. I don't want to do that. But permit the cult.
I mean, if we're gonna rewind time, just do it. It's not hard to skip in dialogue.
The last thing I have is a save that I made 237 before going to talk to what's her name?
I have in-game 2 days 1300. I don't know. Yeah, it's 237 as well. Same time.
I
It's
can't
currently
load a save.
326.
237. I can't load a save.
But I can.
Will you please do so?
Give it a minute. It's a little grumpy. Why is he
Yeah.
grumpy?
From that since a desync, I haven't been able to load anything, so
Oh. Let's
which
just...
is why I couldn't reconnect anything.
I want to fix this.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just... I'm black screening on my end and closing hard. Ah, shit. Well,
Restarting the game.
that's the idea.
Make a save here, despite not wanting to keep this save. Just to see the can't. Did
Give
you
me
just
only
leave?
reason- Yeah.
Huh.
I'm assuming that fixed it.
The moment you left, it fixed things.
I'm not surprised.
No, it didn't. I hit a button before.
Ah.
Yeah, everything's still broken. So I'll quickly shut everything down. Pause my recording.
Ah, now they're starting sooner on break, you fucking traitor. But we're pausing. Random stuff in the warp. Look at that. We're caught up to where we were. Did you re-equip the amulet?
I re-equipped the amulet, and we did not go to Janus to go.
We're avoiding that until we have some shotguns we can disperse.
Yeah, I don't want one. A death cult in the first place, and that will be second death cult.
Yeah.
All that.
Something machine rights.
The tech priest.
We're
want some
haunted,
real
sir. Sorry to disturb you. The Lady Navigator has guided the ship out of the warp. But she has headed to your chambers. Perhaps you'll want to prepare for the meeting? The NPCs are acting rowdy.
I thought we got past all the dialogue.
They're acting rowdy.
Let Cassia wants to talk again. I just talked to you for like 2 hours.
You didn't talk to her for 2 hours.
No, I talked to her for like an hour.
She did have her own dialogue to deal with, but she went through it rather quickly. You got both hers and Argenta's in the same episode. Unlike Cabela.
Unlike Cabela, who took a whole hour by herself. I could probably just label that.
Greetings,
Cabela's
Lord
episode.
Captain. I meant to inform you that our journey through the warp went well. My navigator's gaze perceived the light of the Astronomicon beyond the tumultuous waves of the Sea of Souls, albeit with some difficulty. The crew and the Master Helmsman conducted themselves adequately. My instructions during the jump helped them find their focus and guide the ship without any serious incidents.
I never doubted your abilities as navigator, Lady Cassia. My crew is fortunate to have you.
It pleases me to hear this, Lord Captain. I am equally satisfied with your manner of command. I see you have many compelling works of art here, but precious few paintings. I, for one, do enjoy passing what little spare time I have with a brush in hand. Why, just recently I created a beautiful voidscape inspired by our travels together. I cannot show it to you quite yet, as it is still exists in my mind's eye. But the imagery... If only you could see.
I did take note of the unique elegance of your works back on Urek 5. I am certain your latest piece will be just as breathtaking.
Thank you, Lord Captain. Your gratifying sincerity is wreathed in the light of a rising sun. If such is your wish, I shall show you my work when it is complete. One other thing I meant to tell you is that I am quite well read, and that my knowledge is not limited to the navigator's craft. I am versed in many other scholarly fields, such as the centenary history of the Galaxy sector, or... Navigators are taught to familiarize themselves with the warp from childhood. Should you require my help, that is to say my counsel, my knowledge is extensive, so do not hesitate to ask.
You do not need to prove your worth to me, Cassia. With each passing day, I learn about new sides of you, and you amaze me every time. What is going on here?
She's being awkward. You're too kind, Lord Captain. I apologize. I must be distracting you from important matters. With this, please permit me to leave your presence, Lord Captain.
Okay. I feel like that was one of the romance options, choices, chances that I just completely ignored.
I don't think you completely ignored it. I think you played right into her long taloned fingers.
But I was trying to just get past what you were saying. I wasn't
She
paying
wanted
attention to a
compliments.
single one of it.
She was complimented. Now she feels good. Hey, we got little things we can go
Oh.
look at.
Yeah, the magnetic storm or the inhabited world.
Yeah. I'm gonna make it cut, because who the fuck knows how long this is gonna take.
Yeah, it's already at hours.
Blarg.
So next time.